Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Brubaker, and this is Career Search Lunch and Learn. Welcome to the group that gives you support, advice, career coaching, networking, and I know you don't want to be here. We know that. Our goal is to give you whatever support we can to help you pick up the tips, the tricks, the tools, the networking to be able to move from this group to your next forever job. I'm a career search coach and career transitions coach, trying to figure out still what I want to be when I grow up, as many of you are. Okay, but the idea is that what I want to do is build on the experience that I have. I have well over 30 years of experience in human resources. As an HR business partner, a hiring manager, a recruiter, I managed talent acquisition. I was also um, an executive search consultant. And I've done this now as career coaching for the last 9 years. The reason that I say that is to remind you that the information that I'm giving you, the information that Sue and Ken, I'm going to let them introduce themselves in just a moment, are giving you, comes from our learned experience. It comes from the contacts that we have, the research that we do, keeping up with people not only in the industry, but in job search world in general, in the hiring world, in the economic situation. We're constantly checking with our professional organizations, our colleagues, doing the research to make sure that the information that we're giving you is up to date, that it really works. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that we're constantly here. And not only that, not only do we learn from those sources, do we bring in our experience, but we learn from you as well. So your questions, your ideas, the support that you provide to one another, all of that informs what we do. That said, okay, if I'm going to let Ken and Sue introduce themselves, and we'll go from there.
Hi, everybody. I'm here with Linda and Ken and others of you who are putting so much information in the chat. It's very vibrant today. Everybody with cameras on looks great. I've got to give you all compliments. It's really pleasant to see faces and we're not staring at the top of your head or your chin. Today, I have a little bit longer tip than the last time, and you all did brilliantly last time on what we talked about. This time, I want to talk about skills and not that skills, we've had that before. We talked about it a lot. Linda held 2 sessions because it was so popular. But I get a lot of people, and please forgive me, I don't want to sound like it's not valuable, but they say, I just finished a training, so look at this certificate I have. Most of those certificates are certificates of completion, certificate of participation, certificate of attending. And so I'm not going to go into certificate versus certification. I have a whole webinar on that if you're interested. But what I want to recommend you do is start talking when you post that certificate about what you've done with it and what you can do with it. So here's 2 examples. Say you took a project management course, and I'm not talking about the big PMP certification, $2,000, whatever. I'm talking about Google has a project management course, other people do. You can talk about, I helped in part of this. I used this after I finished or during finishing the course. I worked with an organization to develop a process to outline how and in what way they went forward if there was an emergency. Now, spoiler alert, it doesn't necessarily need to be an organization that really exists. It could be the organization of your family, identifying what to do in an emergency if you can't reach mom on the phone or whatever it is. Remember that those things that we do in volunteer work are important. That may be a tip coming in the future, Linda, because someone from here asked me a couple weeks ago how to validate her home caretaking and the chief of staff stuff she did. Okay, so back to the training. If you're, so second one I thought of for an example, if you're doing anything with data viz, learning Excel, making dashboards, and I know there's a lot of vibe coding going on with people getting this done automatically, but if you're taking a certificate and, taking a course and getting a certificate, talk about an example in work that you could apply it to. For example, you could work with an NGO managing a member database and get them a format for weekly or monthly reports to see how attendance is increasing or enrollment's increasing. So those are two quick ways that you can, examples that you can think about, giving people the idea of what do you use this for? And maybe you're broadening skills you had in work, and you can say, now that I have this, what I solved 5 years ago with Excel pivot tables, now I can do with Excel Power BI or whatever. I'm going way beyond what I'm learning about Excel. All right, that's it.
That's
And
okay.
hopefully others will have more to add. And I just want to say the chat also looks great. People's intros are really getting more tailored. I've noticed that today. Thank you. Oh, I brought my Lunch and Learn pom-poms now. They have a little hanging place under my desk, so I have them every week.
Thank you. And by the way, what Sue said about the classes that you're taking doesn't have to be a formal certification. Okay. If you're posting anything about taking a class, I'm not just going to congratulate you. I'm going to ask those same questions Sue just asked as part of my congratulations message if you haven't already said it. It's not just taking that class, getting that piece of paper. It's why did you do it? What did you learn? What was something significant? More importantly, how are you planning to use it in your new job? Okay. Why was it important to you? Okay. And yes, we do talk about it a lot. We're going to be talking about it even more as we move forward. Ken, your turn.
Hi, everyone. Kenneth Lang here, Northern New Jersey. Here to support everyone here. Happy to be here with Linda and Sue. I run several job search groups throughout the area, both online and in person. Looking forward to connecting with Sue in the next couple of weekends when we get to Baltimore/Washington. And then in the coming week, I'm gonna actually see Pam Lippett as she comes out this way, and we're trying to connect with Annette Richmond as well. And that's what a lot of networking is about. When you go to different places, see who's close by in your network and see if you can get together with them for a cup of coffee or just a chat, because there's nothing that beats meeting in person. What I did want to say say specifically about today, on top of everything else, is to think really carefully about not only what you post, but why you're posting it, because that's kind of the most important thing. I did the joke, not joke, but LinkedIn was just turned 23, I believe, and I actually went to there's a site which has archives of all the different websites. So I looked online; they have archives of all the different websites when they launched, just for as a fun post. What I see a lot of with the people that are looking for jobs is it's the same, hi, how are you, this and that. And it doesn't really show specifically much about them. But if you can post things about your industry, things that set you apart, that would be even better. What I'm trying to do now, and this is kind of a last minute thing, John, many of you know John Asperian very well. He's trying to get some events coming into the States. So we are actually trying to coordinate a day and time to do that in the future. So I will say this, if anyone is interested in being part of a committee to kind of talk that through, that would really be great. And just one last thing. I reposted the link tonight at 8 o'clock tonight. Abby Coat is having a career wake up call. Posted it the first time without the information. So that's one of the things. Just I made a mistake, screwed up, so I posted it again. If you miss it later on, want to message me on LinkedIn. Abby Coat is absolutely amazing. She's a good friend of mine from many, many years ago. Known her now 17, 18 years. And next time I go to Florida, I'm going to check her out. But I think Sue is, I think that's where we first met, if I'm not mistaken. We were on that call, and that's
Well,
how it
you were the guest speaker on
was.
LinkedIn
Okay,
in very early COVID. I met Abby 2 years before I met her because
right.
she's an alum of my university and I mean, her name is absolutely Abby. And she was on a goal when I met her to do 1 million resumes. She went all over the US. That's how long she's been doing this.
So welcome everyone. Thank you, Linda, for this welcoming community. And if you missed the information, just message me later on. Have a great day, everyone.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, for those of you who know what we're all about, we always start these meetings with quick wins. So if you have a quick win, if you're new to the group, and you'd like to introduce yourself quickly, please raise your digital hand or wave in the air at us, and we'll try and get you on the screen so that we can highlight you. And then when we're done with that, we're going to go into our Q&A. Anybody? Oh, Jim Lucasio stopped in just prior to the meeting, just to say that the only reason he's not here is that he has an interview coming up in just a couple of minutes. So he was really excited about that. But he wanted to share that with you. Stop in just for a moment to say that, and then he's off to prep. So if you've got your information, please raise your digital hand. Let's call on you. Okay. Hello.
Hello, is that me? Are you?
It is. It is you. Sorry.
This is Kate Flanagan. This is my second meeting. I actually don't know what you're referring to on the quick start, but I think it's just an intro of who I am. I'm from Rochester, New York. My history is in revenue building, channel building, projects, starting new things and growing things. And I want to continue in that vein, but I am still figuring out the transition. I fell in love with Claude. I'm getting misdirected and lots of distraction on lots of projects. I would love to be deep diving, but I need to focus back on the job search. So I welcome any and all invitations, and I would love to meet more people. So thank you for letting me be part of this group. I think it's great.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. And go Sabres. Sorry if anyone doesn't want the Sabres.
Hi, everyone. I'm Roz Pruitt. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm a project manager looking for my next opportunity. I used to work in technology and telecom, and I'm glad to be a part of this group and looking forward to how we can connect and support one another.
Wonderful. So you're brand new today. Welcome. So
yes, it's the first time.
Yep. So tell us just a little bit about the kinds of jobs you're looking for.
I'm looking for the opportunity to work as a project manager / program manager. I'm a senior project manager. I used to work for Verizon and I used to work for Comcast. I'm at this point industry agnostic because I've been out of work since November of 2024. So any opportunity to work in project management, which is what I love as a senior project manager / program manager.
Okay. Okay. By the way, when you're talking to companies, you're not industry agnostic. We know that in your search you are.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime you're talking to someone, anytime you're applying for a job, anytime you're posting, if you're posting it as an industry agnostic person, then it's just talking about the project management. But if you're applying to a job, you're working with companies, you're commenting on their posts, it's all about them and their industry. Right?
Yes.
Because they want to know that you can do everything. They want to know what you can do for them.
Yes. Thank you, Linda.
Absolutely. Hi, Vicki. Nice to see you.
Hi, good to see you too. I don't know if you remember me, but
I do
I was coming to your groups back in 2020.
Yep, I do remember.
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad. Anyways, I'm back on the job market now. I worked for several years. One job I had was with a records retrieval company. They worked for attorneys and insurance companies, and so that job eventually kind of came to an end for me. And then I got another job with a financial services company, and I was working as a contractor for their vault project. And so now I gained some experience with Salesforce and Laserfish and in that job. And so now I'm looking into either financial services or legal, and as an administrative assistant. And so kind of looking into that area now, and am open to networking with others about jobs in those fields that would match my skills.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry to see you again, but glad to see you again.
Yeah. Oh, good to see you too.
Okay. Vicki was in my group. Oh, yeah, a number of years ago. Anyway, Do we have anybody else new? Did I miss anybody who has a quick win? By the way, in this group, for those of you who are new, a quick win doesn't mean, yay, I got an interview or a job. It could be that you tried something new. It could be that something you tried, maybe that it didn't work, but you tried it. It's giving yourself the credit for doing it. So for any other quick wins, that's great. Otherwise, I see another one. Good.
Should I go? I'm sorry.
Do, please.
So yeah, I actually got connected with somebody. I do user experience design, and through a connection got connected to someone who's using AI for UX design in ways that I didn't know about. And I ended up spending an hour on the phone with him yesterday learning. So it was just, how is he actively doing this? And so it gave me ideas, first of all, to help me in my job, but also everyone cares about AI and having to do with UX right now. And so it'll give me some good things to say in cover letters and interviews. So
Absolutely. And that's one of the best ways to do networking is to ask questions about the other person. Learn what they're doing. It's not asking for a job, right? These are conversations, building relationships. And when you do it in the way that helps you reach out to them and find out what's going on and it's interesting for them, what they did to get where they are, that starts to really build that relationship quickly.
yeah, and this is a guy who has a
Okay.
job that I could do. I mean, I could do his
Yeah.
job. And so he was very generous with his time just to help me learn more. So
Perfect.
that felt like a really, really big win to me.
Absolutely. Congratulations. It is a good one. Next on our is, I think, Amy.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to thank the entire group. Linda, you had made a recommendation of reaching out to members of the group and endorsing each other. And anybody I reached out to was so gracious in endorsing me, and people recommending that I should add additional skills. So it was a big win that way. Thank you.
Excellent. Absolutely. And as Sue said, skills are important. We're going to continue to build those. We're going to continue to talk about them. We have several other programs coming up in the next couple of weeks that are going to be doing just that. Carl.
More along the lines of a quick win front. I did have I think, a pretty positive interview earlier this week with the CEO of a company, and we'll see if that turns out. And for another opportunity where I interviewed with the hiring manager, I'm now in the stage of setting up the on-site interview, more of probably a panel situation. So looking forward to that one when that happens.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Out of curiosity, how did you find those two jobs?
Both were through recruiter outreach to me.
That's good. So that tells us that your LinkedIn profile is good, that you've got the experience, the skills that are there, that people can search for you, find you, and see what that activity is that makes you want to be somebody they talk about. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyone else that I missed? All right. This is an open, ask any question you have session. One of the things that sometimes job seekers worry about is that the question that they ask is one that, I should already know that. Why should I ask it? Or somebody else has already asked it before. It doesn't make any difference. This is a no judgment group. This is a group where we're here to support you. So if you've got questions, no questions off limits. Go ahead, ask your question, and let's see what we can do to give you some answers, some actionable steps that you can take moving forward. So who's got our first question today?
Thank you, Linda. As I mentioned earlier, I've been out since November 2024. So I really need to know from a recruiter perspective, hiring manager perspective, what is the best way to, quote, raise my visibility for being searchable? Should I put currently seeking opportunities, a little green and white logo, and then put in the things that I've been doing, because I've been doing some volunteer work, some project management volunteer work, or should I create a company page, as some recruiters and career coaches suggest, or should I put self-employed? Which of those three should I use?
Can I give you the first answer, and then I'm going to let Sue and Ken go ahead with it?
Yes,
The first
please.
answer is, it depends. Okay, so there are lots of different things you can do. I'm gonna let them start, but the idea is, yes, you need to have something that lists you as being current in something
Yes.
in order to go out. And from my recruiter's standpoint, I know that there are people who say you can keep your old job forever active on LinkedIn. Don't do that.
No,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's what it shows now, so I do want to remove it.
And I would, from my recruiter and hiring manager standpoint, 3 months is acceptable.
Okay. It's been
Okay,
longer.
maybe, but anything beyond that looks like there's something else you might be hiding. It doesn't look real, especially when I talk to you and I see on your resume that you ended in December, and on LinkedIn it says you're still active in June.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, so Ken and Sue?
I would say, to echo what Linda said, I tend to agree, but LinkedIn is also a marketing tool, so you definitely want to have something current. I would not do current as open to opportunities or something like that.
Okay.
You could use Linda's group as that mechanism. You're a member of the group, and you can list the things that you do within the group. The caveat to that is your resume has to match what you're doing. So I would probably put that part in a volunteer section or a section like that, because recruiters are going to look at the jobs, they're going to match up start dates and end dates, and you don't want to put up a red flag. Open to work, there's no one right or wrong. I'm not a big fan of it personally.
Okay.
Maybe just to recruiters only because of all the spam and stuff that goes on out there. But the most important thing is to market yourself. It's not just, it's about you're looking for work, but what is your benefit going to be to the next employer? Don't assume, like I see your profile, you're a project manager. So what do you do that's different from every other PMP out there? Size of teams, things you've done, whatever it is. Again, you're not, you just want to, my biggest thing is have something also with the current, because LinkedIn will ding you that way.
Yeah.
Yep,
In the about section too. I also say do reverse searches on people that are in your space and see what is on their profiles. Why do they show up the way they do?
Okay.
Okay, so Sue, take it away.
I'm going to recommend that you think more about what Ken just said, your visibility, because you've got to be found. And especially now with whatever the thing is, if it's an algorithm or just a whole new system since December, LinkedIn wants to see your engagement with your quality background, with what you've done. Start thinking about what you're seeing differently. And there's a lot of articles out there that you could share and comment on, anything that's paywalled, especially if you can get behind it and talk about it. You don't share the article because that's going to be copyright, but share. I read an article in Forbes. It may be available to you through your library. Here's the 3 important things that now they're saying about project managers disappearing because it can all be done by AI. And just give an example and talk about that. And that begins to raise your profile to I'm current, even without the job. I have mixed ideas or thoughts on putting something that you described under volunteer work, because I've seen a lot of people deprecate real good work, whether it was paid or not. Paid is not the thing. So if you're actually doing something continually, say you go once a month and work with Habitat for Humanity on updating their books or making new processes, or you go once a week and you are part of a tutoring program, so you're mentoring, whatever you're doing, as long as it's a couple months or, here's the thing about volunteering, showing up, transferring your skills, working with a team, helping them reach a larger goal, whatever it is, your library, your church, people down the street, a book club even. I'm not saying that it's the organizational skills. So yes, put certain things under volunteer, but others you might be able to weave together. If you had enough, like a steady volunteer job you've been doing for years, I would say, yes, make a company page for that and put that as what you're presently doing now. But Ken's advice about using LinkedIn, Linda's group. Linda, it's always Linda's group, but the L and L and L, that's what I call it in my mind. The L and L and L, use that as a start at least. But everybody thinks it's all about putting that banner up. It's about showing what you can do and why I mean, you worked for 2 big companies and you've done a lot of project management, and that's an incredibly valuable skill. And no matter what they say about AI doing project management, we look at those things and we look at a Gantt chart and say, this is going to fail. They are running too late, or they've missed one deadline. You're smiling. You've lived this.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, use your visibility. Don't focus so much on, focus on where it can go once you figure out, we've given you several suggestions. So I'll turn back to the group of experts and see if they have anything
So
to
let me
add.
build on what Ken and Sue said.
Okay.
Okay. So if you are doing some of that volunteer work, if it is strictly project-based, as an example, you're building, I know Ken, for example, is working on a website right now for a volunteer group that he's part of. That can be a job specifically, both
Yeah.
on LinkedIn as
Mhm.
well as on your resume.
Okay.
Okay. As a job, it can be volunteer, it doesn't make any difference. If you are using something like listing yourself as a contributor, okay, to Career Search Lunch and Learn on LinkedIn, that becomes a job. And by the way, I put the information in the chat about how to do that. You go
Okay.
into your experience section and you add that, and it will
Okay.
show up as being current.
Thank you.
But if you're doing that on your resume on LinkedIn, it shows up as a job.
Yes.
On your resume, if you want to, you can list that as volunteer. You don't
Okay.
have to.
Okay.
Okay. But the idea is that it gives you not only additional skills that you are using, because you're going to put skills in there as well. In
Yes.
that post, you're also going to say, hey, here are the things that I'm doing while I am looking for my next job in project management using such and such skills. You're going to add some of those skills in that post.
Okay.
And my recommendation is when you do that, whether you're doing it with my group, whether you're finding another job opportunity, another open opportunities kind of page, whether you're putting up your own, send it out to your network.
Oh, okay.
Share it. Okay. It's not your next forever job. We know that. But one of the things we also know is that when you send it out to the network,
Yes.
you're going to get lots more visibility. People are
Okay.
going to reach out to you. They're going to contact you and say, yay, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your opportunity to start that networking connection again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what I
Thank
want to
you
do.
so much. Okay. And thank
Absolutely.
you for the opportunity to be able to connect your page to me. So I thank
Absolutely.
you for that as well.
Absolutely. Okay. We've got some more questions coming in, which is perfect. So let me add some more people to the spotlight. Okay. Next. By the way, when I add you to the spotlight, we're going to do this and go ahead and the order in which you show up on the screen or the way that you come up on stage, it's your turn to talk.
I'm slowly getting this, Linda. I like it. This is great.
Good.
All right. I have a couple of questions. I put an idea in the chat directly to you for an idea for a future
Excellent.
comment. I am finding I'm still in love with Claude. I am finding that my creative brain and my ability to grow things and build things is taking over, and I need to watch that because I do need to find a transition and keep revenue coming in. And one of my questions is how much would you give an AI suggestions? And then how much liability might you have if that AI is developing apps or websites or things for you? Is there a big tsunami coming in the future from you should not launch forward with this? If I've created some pretty cool things and I want to claim them as, creating complex projects in AI prior to my certs to go along with my actual projects. And then I like the idea of doing it with the volunteer groups. I just think there is a tsunami coming, so I hesitate. The other problem I'm having is I do a lot of things. My background is sales and marketing. I can be very successful in growing new channels, growing new complexities. I come from the world of Cisco systems, so I've already got a technical background. So I'm trying to reinvent myself and see where I go. I'm just having trouble embracing all that because I know you said we have to have one pitch. We use LinkedIn as a marketing tool, and it needs to be clear and concise and match the resume. If the resume is going for multiple jobs, I think you said it last time where you keep changing your skills or you bring things to the forefront on your LinkedIn. So you're constantly going in there editing and making it active. If you looked at my LinkedIn right now, it has not been made active and it needs a lot of help. But am I getting that correctly where we still need to have sort of one forward push through on one major idea that everything lines up, even though I'm doing a whole bunch of other things on the back end? And I really want to understand how you work in the healthcare space. Having worked in Cisco systems, I have a very deep understanding of verticals from both healthcare, lots of different industries. So it's hard for me to make this thing feel like it's working for me without really narrowing the scope and trying to play in that lane. So you can yell at me for being distracted by Claude, but I don't know what to do.
I think many of us are distracted by AI tools right now.
Yeah, I think there's a legal tsunami coming, but yeah.
I agree. Okay.
So what would you say from how do I get my LinkedIn working for me in its best fashion? Is it to stay very narrow? I have Claude suggesting all kinds of jobs for me. I have Claude telling me I'm 100% match. I've got all this great business, but it goes back to positions I've had in the past, which they have it doesn't seem to bother them to put an old job top if it matches what the target job is looking for. So I'm looking for, I guess, for some guidance on what's real, what's not real, and what will get me moving fastest, because I could sit here and analyze all day. The whole analysis paralysis thing is really gripping me strongly.
I agree. So you want to respond? You've been dying.
Yeah, I want to respond to the first sort of question for Kate. Ken and you will have much more perspective, I know, on the LinkedIn stuff. But you said, I'm doing all these cool things, but there's going to be a tsunami. But yes, there's going to be a big snowstorm maybe here, but it's May. You got to get some visibility out of what you're doing. If you all are doing innovative things, it's not like you have to write a post and say, look, I'm so great. I invented this or I developed this. But everybody's doing some of those things. I'm not doing a whole lot of vibe coding, but other people are. So claim what you've got and start to use the comments for your expertise. Look at what experts who are posting about AI and agentic agents and all of that and say, I found when I developed one for myself, it took my skills from Cisco, whoever you worked for, blah, 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 at this and that. And that's how you start to tell a story of validating your own credibility. So I think you're missing the boat by thinking there's going to be a tsunami. There's already tons of legal stuff about this copyright. And I came up with this huge long way to in my mentor time a few weeks ago to credit Perplexity, but also credit me and the other people's work that I used in trying to get, I was doing a timeline for technology. Because right now there's no way to credit AI that says we're bringing ourselves into it. So we have to make that market. All right, that's my soapbox. I'm sticking to it. Get out there and start commenting and showing people your expertise.
Thank you, Sue. And by the way, Sue, I'm from Rochester. We are the land of the Mother Day snowstorm. So it's never over till we get past Mother's Day. It's 30
I know. I lived in Rochester, so.
So thank you. I knew that. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Ken.
I would say two different things here. First of all, LinkedIn, it's going to be if you go for the algorithm, then you want to be focused on what you do. But in your case, that's not going to be helpful because if you try to be specific to the algorithm is going to play it to an audience you may not want.
Right.
And that's where the engagement comes in. You can have all these different things on your profile to be searchable, but I would be more general in what I comment on. Because if you start doing posts and they're all over the place, it's not going to help you the same way. You're better off focusing on the comments for now and maybe having your LinkedIn profile more general. Because otherwise, and we all talk about the algorithm like we know the algorithm. Of course, we don't, but it's about just doing what works for you in your situation. And that's kind of what I would say.
And I agree. So your resume is tailored to the job.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that you're going to change every time to make sure that it matches. It can be different verticals, it can be different skill sets, it could be different approaches. It doesn't make any difference. But that's the one that's tailored. LinkedIn, unfortunately, as much as you want to change it and as much as it changes in 30 seconds and you're done, it has to be more generic because you don't know when somebody's going to be looking. So the idea of broadening the skill set that you're including in your profile so that it covers all these new things, removing the things you no longer want to do, okay? And then making those comments on other people's posts, those can be all over the place. But that's how you gain the credibility. And more importantly, that's how you start becoming not only visible, okay, for the areas that you want to be in. It's going to help you with your networking as well as people looking out. We're now able to see how many people are reading your comment.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
I think I
even with a
stayed
free
away from LinkedIn because I didn't know how this beast was going to blow up. And the part on the multiple projects, like it's so much fun, but at some point you either have to invest revenue, time, resources. Like I think, Ken, you're building a website for somebody. You know, the fact that I can do that now pretty incredibly easily, but at some point you have to invest in the time to host it or to edit it or to monitor it. Like you're still making these investments. And I need to keep pulling myself back to where I need to make sure, as a single person, I need to make sure the revenue is still coming in so you can go do those fun things. But the legal tsunami is still hanging out in the back of my mind because I must know 100 website developers. What do they do? Like, where is this going?
Right.
But I would like to keep building it. I've developed several really cool new apps based on new scientific data globally, like getting out of the US market and looking what's happening globally from a healthcare perspective and creating these really cool, interesting, live, applicable apps and wanting to understand more how to get involved in that. But the HIPAA laws scare me to death, as well as how do you market these things? So I have to bring myself back and go back into tech sales, to be honest, because I can make a lot of money in tech sales, but not necessarily, I haven't figured out how to do that in AI yet.
So
Oh, you froze. Linda, you're frozen.
Well, I'll just say for my temple site there, I would put it up there if my temple had a company page, which is something I've been asking them for the longest time to do. So I do mention it in passing. But again, I'm not in job search per se, but it keeps me interested in what's going on, and I learn things. I mean, I've learned things I never would have figured out before, and I've learned from other people on the calls that have more experience than me. So you just never know. So hopefully Linda will be unfrozen. In the meantime,
I thank you. I've used a lot of time and I appreciate all of this, but if anybody knows of any kind of brainstorm. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's, sorry, Kate, let's move on to Amy.
Okay, hi. My question is, my job progression has gone reverse of what is typical. So the best job on my resume is my oldest, where I supervised 12 people. But the 4 jobs I've had since were very small companies where I was the only employee in the department. So how do I structure that? I thought about using a functional resume to list leadership skills, but I'm hesitant to use that. So what is your recommendation to highlight that?
Sue, can you take that? I'm going to answer.
Sure. Yeah. So some of the challenges we all have when we have a lot of experience and older is more valuable is not necessarily reflecting what you're doing. Older meant you were doing a larger team, but you've also now worked with 3 or 4 other, however many, small organizations. And that's why it's important to have at least a couple sentences at the top of your resume that tells your story. Because if you don't tell your story, who's going to tell it for you? And then you talk about weaving together large company and small company experience doing X and Y, whatever are your common threads, because that way you can leave it on your resume. But if it's on page 2 and they don't find much at the beginning of the resume that they want to that they want to scroll down, they're not going to see it. So starting with that, but I wouldn't necessarily start with, I'd led a big team and all of that. Think about what you're applying for and where you're most applicable. I saw some stats a couple weeks ago that I need to memorize better, but it's something like almost 70% of companies are small and medium businesses, which means your likelihood of getting a job in smaller businesses is bigger than getting a job at Verizon or whatever. So if you're trying to go back to a big company, that's great, Amy. You still
It's
need
not.
to tell.
It's
You're
not
not.
a big company. It's still, I would call a medium sized to small. It just was bigger than the ones I've gone to since. You know, it went from like a 100-person company to a 10-person company.
Okay,
But
so
is that a negative though? You know,
no, it's not.
because
Yeah.
you're making it seem like I went from a 500 person to a 10, and that's not good because I'm working for a smaller company. I don't see that as a negative,
I
personally.
don't see it as a negative either, but do employers, because I'm not getting,
No,
any interest
no,
in management
no,
roles.
no, I wouldn't think so. I think it all depends how you portray yourself. I mean, you could be at a 10-person company doing something that four people might do
Mhm.
have to do at another company by their different tasks.
Right.
Right. One of the things
And,
that's nice about small companies is that you do wear so many hats. You have to be doing a lot of different things. So when you're talking about it, talk about everything you do. Talk about the value that you bring. That doesn't matter whether it's a big company or a small company. In fact, in some cases, your title in a big company is less valuable than it would be in a small company simply because of what you're actually able to contribute in that smaller role.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Sorry, I lost you all there for a minute.
Well, we kept going.
yeah.
I know you did. Thank you. I just lost the chat, but that's okay. I'll get it back. Okay. Barry, I think you
Okay,
were
I'm
next.
gonna switch directions a little bit from what we've been talking about. My background is fairly extensive, but I spent 30 years as an attorney in a private practice, stopped practicing law altogether. Since then, I've sort of been on a second career path goal, I guess. But I need to get back into, but I've been out of work since last November, and I've been trying to find, I'm applying to the positions on LinkedIn. I know that I'm supposed to go and look at the company websites and apply there rather than respond to the ads on LinkedIn if that's possible. A lot of places now are just redirecting me back to wherever I came from to do the applications, and that's fine. But I think because all these applications I put in, I get I get no response from them. I had one phone call with somebody last week. I thought it went well. They're moving on in a different direction, they told me at the beginning of the week. And that's pretty much what I'm hearing from everybody, no matter what kind of position it is I'm looking for. I can't even get a job as a cashier at a supermarket these days. And I really miss the days when you could just walk into a business and say, do you have an opening? Because their answer is, we do. You have to go through our website. And the AI always screens me out. So I think I need to deal more with the recruiters that are approaching me. So here's my question. How can I tell if a recruiter who isn't coming from the company website is legitimate? Because those are the ones I want to engage with, but I can't tell. Mostly they're with talent acquisition companies, or it's not so much, maybe they have a particular job they want to, place for. They don't want to disclose it necessarily, who it is they're looking for. And of course, that's very interesting to me going in, because I don't want to waste a lot of time and energy if it's a position, like if somebody wants to recruit me to be a lawyer, doesn't work. I'm not a member of the bar anymore. I need to exclude those, but those are most of what I'm getting to be a lawyer. And I don't know, that's a side question. I don't know how to exclude that from all these things in LinkedIn that are coming to me. But that's my question. How can I tell which of these recruiters that are reaching out to me are legitimate as opposed to the ones that are just surfing through all the bogus job boards and trying to glom onto somebody that they can send over to somebody.
And this is
Hmm.
your new focus and areas of
Well,
expertise.
what I've been doing a lot of is I've been engaging on some of these quote unquote recruiters to see what happens. There are some telltale signs, besides the ones I've mentioned. Anyone that doesn't mention my name and that just basically does a cut and paste from either my profile or a job spec, which is the worst part of all. And then I've gotten two or three of those from the same company, same different people. Um, and then, of course, the other thing we've talked about the Google Lens. The other thing which I've started to do, if they don't, sometimes I look at their addresses or sometimes their LinkedIn profile because they may be based offshore and they have an address in the United States, and that's a big telltale sign for me. Please don't waste my time. Now, the way I would go if it was me personally, I have a bunch of recruiters I know and trust. I think a lot of us probably do. I would say, Barry, ask us as a question. Reach out to us because I know people who would be great people to be in conversation with, and there's a bunch of them, but for me to list them here for everyone, it's not that I'm hiding it. There's just so many. So if you said to me, I'm looking for a recruiter in X space, that space, we probably all know people. We know how to get you to the right place. Or even applying online can be a fool's errand. Finding people on LinkedIn too. But I would totally steer clear of most of the job spec emails you get. It's an absolute waste of time. Linda, what do you think? You're a recruiter.
I agree to some extent. Now, an outside recruiter, you may get calls from about the same job from several different people. That's the way outside recruiters make their money. Their goal is to find the candidates and then send them in. So yes, you may see several people asking for the same job. But Barry, you and I have talked before, and I've helped you discover if you're ever in doubt, is this real? You can't see it on the posting. Okay, you can't check on their profile. Reach out. I may not know everybody. I may not know all the tells, but I can usually tell most of them.
Same with
Okay.
me.
Exactly.
Forward me an email and say,
Yeah.
Ken, do you think this is legit?
Yep.
I've been learning how to filter out a lot of them myself. Yeah, like the
Yep.
things you
Good.
said, Ken, where you're getting the same offer from a lot of places and they're basically just cutting and pasting from your resume or whatever, or your profile on LinkedIn to tell you, yeah, I know. I told this story to Linda a few months ago when I thought I had this great job lined
Right.
up, and she told me, no, I'm going to burst your bubble. It's fake. And I
Yep.
was really disappointed because it was a really great job.
Well, I got a great job today, yesterday for 150 to $300,000.
Wow.
And then I thought to myself, And then when I got this email 10 hours later, well, have you had a chance to think about it? Then I said, And then I went to their profile and did a Google Lens, and it's like not who they are. And then I went to the company site, and the job wasn't even listed there. So I'm engaging with this person now, or quote unquote person, just to see what happens. Because
Yep.
because I kind of like doing it, actually, not because I don't have to worry about it from a job search perspective. But I'm gonna play the game with them.
Yeah. One of my favorite questions when I do that kind of reach out, Ken, is what is it about my profile and my background that really intrigued you for this role?
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. Like, I'm like, not, I'm like, how did you find me is really what I do a lot of times.
Yeah.
Very simple. How'd you find me?
But you're right, there are a lot of fake people out there, a lot of fake jobs out there. If
Yep.
in doubt, if you can't figure it out yourself, reach out to one of us and we'll help.
Yeah.
Okay. Your suggestion about reaching out to you outside of the group to get some
And the
suggestions
same
on
would go for anyone
groups to
here in the
talk to is
group. I
very
mean,
good.
Absolutely.
anyone who has a question like that, just if you're not sure, I mean, we have the experience. You may not like what you hear from us per se, but we can tell you.
Absolutely. So please DM us, email us,
Yep.
okay? Reach out and let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
Linda, this is Charles. I'm going to
Yes,
share the link to that post I wrote 3 weeks ago about a couple of things you can do to protect yourself online, and you may want to use that as well as a possible thing. But Ken's idea to feed it into Google Lens and ask them about it is it's good advice. They
Yeah.
see a lot of bad stuff, so they know what it looks like.
Yeah, I do a lot of that.
Especially in this case where the person cut off the picture and her boyfriend or husband was next to it in the same suit and tie that I saw on Google Lens. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Or the other thing is where the same picture will show up with 12 different names, none of which are the one that they're using.
Yep.
Yeah, so that Google Lens is a good tool out there. Okay, perfect. Good luck, Barry. Lisa Beth.
Hello. So I have a few questions, not necessarily always LinkedIn, because in my industry, LinkedIn is hit or miss. We use it a lot to check on our donors, but not necessarily for recruiting. A few things. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about putting your title and making a title match. I think, Ken, it was you, about making your job title match what the algorithm or whatever, I'm not a tech person, match in LinkedIn. However, it didn't necessarily match your job title. So a few things on that. One, what if you are doing something that it doesn't match, right? And so it isn't going to search for the right thing. And also, what if you're also doing something now? So that's the first part. Secondly, you're doing something different. Right now, what I've discovered, and it's maybe a little different than other people, all of the things I've been doing, I'm now doing advocacy on my own and just patient relations, this kind of thing, where I'm just doing it as a volunteer service. I'm not getting paid for it. It's just something that I appreciate doing. And if I put it under there under a title, I don't have my own business, so I don't have a logo that matches it. And I've also had my own businesses where I have my own logo, but it's not going to pull up its own page. So it won't register. Remember, we did that before and you pulled up a business. So what do you do when the job title doesn't match or the logo or the page doesn't match?
Two different things.
Definitely. I mean, I would say this. Job title matches are important when you're being searched for more than anything else. If you want to be searched for by a recruiter, but it doesn't mean you have to use them specifically. It's really what are you looking to be found for? Not everything fits into LinkedIn's boilerplate dropdown. I think it's more important if you maybe do those, let's say, as part of your heading, as part of your title, but it's only a part of what you do. Even with company pages now are getting less notice than before as part of this for all different reasons. So if worse comes to worse, you could either create a company page or not, but I wouldn't get too hung up on it as much as I used to. See, LinkedIn is always changing. We can have this conversation a month from now, we'll have a different conversation. That's why the most important thing we'll suggest is networking, following up, engaging, because those things are not changing. So, I mean, I don't know if Sue, if you have anything else to add or.
Well, I
feel
think
like
you
people
make
are
a
looking
good.
for to catch you in a lie, and more than the other, they're saying, "Well, wait, that doesn't match, or your resume doesn't match, or that doesn't say that," and that's my concern. Is I don't want to
Thing
get
is, there's LinkedIn
someone
searching and
questioning you.
there's you. And you want to separate those. LinkedIn wants that information about you so it can fill out its data and its stuff. I mean, as much as anything else. I mean, the more they know about you, the better for them and Microsoft. We can't lose sight of that.
Well,
So,
they also want that data because that's how recruiters can search with what Kevin Turner calls the market value filters. It's a standardized name for a title. And you're right, Elizabeth, you and others don't necessarily have those titles. I think Ken's point is important about the logo is not a big deal. I look at it for looking at people's profiles and try to understand if their companies are real. I'm not hiring. These are people that are connecting from, the US and elsewhere. But what I think you can focus on is what value are you providing LinkedIn in that title to say, I'm a patient advocate for a whatever patient load it is, even if it's a patient of one, you can say, chronic disease situation, whatever. And those words are all searchable. And that's much more important than the one title or whether you have the gray default building or a logo. So think of it that way in terms of, I feel like you're getting really caught up about little stuff rather than taking credit for what you're doing. And that's the thing you need out there. They'll, if it's, I think, Ken, you posted today or yesterday, if it's not out there, you're not going to be found.
Right. So Lisa Beth, in this case, this is important volunteer work, especially not just for the people you're working with, but for the direction you want to go. So I would list that if you wanted to come up with your term patient advocate, whatever it is, okay? You can list that as volunteer, and that is your current role. And if you wanted to have a company page, putting together a company page is really simple. It's free, it's easy. You can, if you need to have a logo to go with it, yeah, 5 minutes or less, absolutely. Okay, but you want one that now reflects what you're doing, not what you've done in the past.
Great, thank you. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. Other questions? I saw some in the chat where people didn't raise their hand, don't want to come up. Anybody else want to come up and join us? Sue, am I missing questions? Yes.
Yeah, I had put in the chat when.
I'm sorry, who's this?
This is Roz. I'm sorry, this is Roz. I had put in the chat about would using hashtags help to drive engagement, because the young lady, I don't remember her name, she was saying that she was kind of like all over the place. And I didn't know if maybe if she posted, she would then put a particular hashtag in, and maybe that would drive the engagement to that particular community.
Yes and no.
I mean, I responded in the chat. Hashtags have been very much minimized by LinkedIn because, in large part, they had no idea what to do in terms of indexing.
Right.
So they realized right off the bat, it's like everyone's making up their own hashtags for every little thing.
Yes.
So then it got to the point where LinkedIn didn't know what to do, so it just got rid of them. So like if you do a hashtag now with millions and millions others, there's no benefit. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it's not going to help.
Although I'm starting to see people like Kevin Turner putting hashtags in his posts again.
Yeah, I think that it's up or down, but here's the thing to think about hashtags. The hashtag originally was a search tool we could all use, and we would get a whole page of everybody who posted about whatever. But also, in making a hashtag, you are making a subliminal tagline message, whatever, about what your content is. I wouldn't use a whole wall of them the way people used to do in the old days. I think you need to think about why that one thing may not be the only thing. There's, remember, LinkedIn search box always has been very powerful. And you can put a whole sentence there now. In the old days, you had to have Boolean connectors and or and all that. You don't even need to do that. And it surfaces a lot of stuff. So I would focus that maybe Roz first and then other things later. And I'll let you know if I change my mind. I used to write pom-poms to you with a hashtag, and I stopped a week ago, and now I'm trying to figure out, does it make a difference? I don't think it does, but anyway.
Yeah, I've started on some of my posts adding hashtags back in.
Oh, you have? Yeah.
Okay, but just a couple. And I'm not sure exactly why I decided to do that. I think it was some of Kevin Turner's posts where he said, let's do some of this again, or that he does it on occasion. And he's one of my go-tos in terms of LinkedIn information. But at this point, I don't think it's going to hurt you. I don't think LinkedIn is, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see LinkedIn penalizing the posts that have them.
Okay.
Okay.
I just think from a job search perspective, it's kind of not beneficial. I'll look at it that way. Kevin Turner has his business, has his thing, and a lot of other people do. But if you're looking for a job, putting the hashtags on, yeah, it won't hurt, but it's not really going to help.
No, it won't. It's just another way of helping you focus, perhaps. Now, the one hashtag that I would not use, okay, Ken's talked a lot about the idea of spam coming to you. He and I differ on the idea of the open to work banner. I'm still a believer.
Okay.
And here's the reason why, because we know from LinkedIn's own stats, you're going to get more visibility both within your network and other recruiter outreach. We also know you're going to get a whole lot more spam.
Yes.
Okay. From my understanding and just checking little things out, what's driving the spam most is the hashtag in that LinkedIn standard post that says open to work. That's what's triggering it.
That's the thing, to open to work, unemployed, whatever they are. And that's
So-
why you have to be really leery about that too.
Right. So when you're doing the open to work, if you choose to do it, take off the hashtag, remove it. That's what people are searching for. Make sure that that post is your own. Don't use the standard LinkedIn version.
Oh, so don't select the one where it says recruiters only or your entire
No.
network.
You can absolutely do that, but you don't have to use their standard post.
Or you could also have your background image, you create a PowerPoint image instead of their open to work with another thing around it to market yourself.
The difference is, Ken, that's true, but people are very visual. They're used to seeing the green banner and saying open to work, the purple banner and saying hiring.
I don't disagree. I just know that with the searching, the way it's changed with the algorithm or not, I'm a big believer in the engagement as a priority.
Oh,
More than anything
absolutely.
else. In the searching, I think, because I have open to work on for recruiters only, and I don't get a lot of spam from them, but still, I mean,
Okay.
it's coming from everywhere.
Right. And so here's the deal with recruiters only versus open to work in general.
Okay.
Recruiters only, fewer than 1/3 of all the recruiters on LinkedIn are paying for LinkedIn Recruiter.
Yeah.
They're the only ones who are going to see that open to work recruiters only. That's
Okay.
it. Okay. If you want to be that visibility for your network, for other
Yeah.
possible recruiters who say, gee, I really want to talk to somebody who wants to talk back.
Yes.
Okay. Then that open to work helps. We
Okay.
also know that based on some of the anecdotal experience from some of my clients and some of the people from Lunch and Learn, that open to work starts to drive some conversations. And I've had several people who've actually been able to get job opportunities directly from that, from some of those conversations that they've had. So
Okay.
strictly up to you. If you do it, put it on, see what happens. Beware of the spam.
Okay.
If you're not sure whether or not it's real spam, let us know. We'll help you figure it out. If you're getting the spam, go ahead and report it, block it. You can do that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ken, what were you going to say? You were talking about the PowerPoint?
No, I was just going to say what some people do, you have an image. You can go to a Canva or a PowerPoint and just change that banner to reflect anything else. So
Oh,
instead of
really?
open to work, you can have say a blue banner and change the text in there to do it's just another marketing tool.
Right.
See, because it's just a visual. It doesn't
It's just a
literally.
That visual can be whatever you want it to be.
Right.
Exactly.
Open to work. I mean, again, that might be again, I put this in the chat. This is why we all say it depends.
Yes.
Because
Exactly.
we all come from different places, not right or wrong, but it's our experiences.
Yes. And you can do A/B testing, right?
Well, that's what
Absolutely.
we all do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Absolutely.
also put it on for a week, take it down, try something different.
Yes.
In fact, if you're putting it up, I highly recommend taking it down at least once a month. It only has to be for a couple of minutes if you want to, but when putting it back up again, it re-indexes you to the top of the feed, re-indexes you to the top of the search bar.
And I've seen recruiters get notified in real time when someone's banner goes up because I was
Yes.
actually with someone. So they get notified right away. This person's banner went up.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So once a month, I can do that.
Yep. You can do it even more often than that if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Great.
it's strictly up to you, but it does work. And we know that it works. Even LinkedIn's own stat, and most of the time a lot of these stats I don't believe, but
Mhm.
this one I've seen in action.
Okay.
And it's the LinkedIn stats as opposed to somebody that LinkedIn has no monetary value in telling you to put up that green open to work to everybody banner. Okay.
Yes.
The green or the open to recruiters only, they get some monetary value from that.
But then, like you said, the percentage of them using it is very small.
Very
Right.
small.
Mhm,
And as I
definitely.
said, even when I was actively recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
I never paid for it,
Okay.
which means I would never have known that you were looking.
Okay.
But don't please You get nothing out of all of this other than the fact that you need to be commenting, you need to be sharing your expertise. That's what really counts.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna put it up today and
All
we'll
righty.
see what happens. When I come back next week, I'll let you guys know how many reached out, how many were fake, and how many were legit.
Yeah,
And
we're
then I'll
gonna go
send the
on.
fake ones to Ken and he can get them.
I just want to emphasize that the private group is also a place to get feedback, to report your, it's great if you bring this to the meeting, but you might get even more engagement from people where you say, I tried this and I tried that. I'm just,
Absolutely.
reminding people it is private. There are, I don't go on there all that often. Occasionally I'm looking for the chat, but I have seen people post asking for help, like, oh, I changed this. What do you think about it? Look at my LinkedIn. And that may feel more approachable for you to get it done, get it out there, and then tell us how it's going. And before next week's meeting, it'd be great to know so we could have informed discussion and we can look at all your stats and whatever. I don't know who's coming next week. I'm volunteering.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Now,
actually,
do I have access to the private group?
if you request access, absolutely.
Okay, I'll do it
I
in the
just put the
chat.
link again.
Okay.
I just put the
all right.
link in again.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sue, and thank
Absolutely.
you also, Linda. I'm going back on mute.
Okay, so I'm going to, good segue before we get to the next question, is that next week, Terrence Seaman is going to be coming in and he's going to be talking about how to stay motivated, giving you tips and tricks. If you've not heard him before, he's great. Very energizing, very motivating. He's really good. The following week, we're going to be talking about, is your introduction doing what it needs to do? So Sue mentioned in the beginning that we're starting to see some of those in the chat that really help us. But your introduction is not just in the chat. It's also in your headline. It's in your about section. It's in your networking comments. It's in a variety of different areas. So we're going to be talking about whether or not it's working for you. And then here's the important part. We're going to go into small group rooms and you're going to get a chance to practice it. You're going to say it. You're going to see whether people know what you want to do. They're going to give you suggestions and feedback. We'll probably do that at least twice, okay, during the session, just so that we can start building and refining those. So it's that networking piece, although I hate the term networking, but it's going to be that getting to know each other piece and building on their expertise and their support as well. Okay, and then the following week, okay, we've been talking about what does LinkedIn see? Thomas Pauner is going to be coming in to talk about keywords versus skills. And he's talking about LinkedIn's search behind the scenes. He's one of those people who not only uses LinkedIn Recruiter, he teaches other people how to use it. So that's going to be a very interesting one. And that's on May 27th. Thank you. On June 10th, Jeff Young is going to be coming in to do a Stump the LinkedIn Guru.
Yay.
Okay. And we're building out from there. So if you have other ideas, let us know. All right. Sorry to distract from that, but now we'll go back to the questions. Okay. Do you have a question for us?
I have a question.
Yes, I know that.
Following up on what Ken said a few minutes ago, maybe I didn't hear it correctly. Ken, were you saying that open to work banner on your picture on LinkedIn can be changed to your own language or changed to
What I'm
your
saying is
color?
you can take your picture, your
Yeah.
headshot, you can put it into a tool like Canva, let's say.
I got it.
And then you can have a background change color-wise, text-wise. You can do it in different tools like that. So it's not open to work per se. It's going to be whatever words you want it to be.
I got it. So I got Canva, so I can do that.
Yeah, and it's just another way to market yourself, and that will be seen by everyone that sees your picture.
Yes.
Got
Okay.
it.
So
Thank
contrary
you.
point of view. Okay. And that's one of the things about this. When we say it depends,
Yeah.
It depends. And not everybody who's going to be giving you advice, even on this screen today, is going to agree with you. If
Yep.
you're doing that, make sure that you look at it on your phone too, because that's the way a lot of us look for you.
Absolutely.
And
That-
also, oh,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I pulled up your profile, Cheryl, and you have a beautiful, beautiful headshot. It's well positioned, but you're going to want to zoom out, make it small, a little smaller if you're going to put a ring around yourself, because you're going to start cutting off, it'll be too crowded. So just remember to actually, make it a little bit bigger than what I say, which is collarbones up. You might want a little more perspective.
That might be a little too much work.
No, it's
really not.
No, it's not that much work. It's
Okay.
You just need a ring. I can do it in PowerPoint really quickly. You make a ring, make it fat, put the words on it, and save it.
All right.
So here's
Thank
my
you.
alternative point of view, is that because we are visual, we're trained to look for certain colors on LinkedIn to mean certain things. The purple banner is an automatic, oh, this person is hiring.
Right.
The green is an automatic, this person is looking.
I got it.
Okay. If it's
Yeah.
a different color banner, we may bypass it.
Yep.
Okay. It's not that visual cue as we need to do something with it right away.
Or you can make it green with different text.
Yes.
I mean, again, these are all things to think about. And
Right.
that's why we'll say it depends. Because as Linda says something, I'm thinking about something.
You make a lot of sense, because when I've recruited, I would be looking for that green banner, because
Exactly.
like you said, it's the easiest way to identify who's looking for a job.
I used to do exactly the same thing. And I
Thank
know a lot
you.
of recruiters now who do that.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Any other questions that we missed or that are
Let's see, Juliet has her hand up.
perfect? Let me bring her up.
Hi.
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 I put it in the chat, but then I thought I would just ask. So we talked about it maybe a couple weeks ago, but I know I have on my list of homework is to update the about section on the profile. Mine's pretty lame, and I never knew all the things you taught me. So if you have ideas of whom I could look at as a good about section, I'm trying to figure out what kind of content should be in there, so I can write it. I know there was something fun that Lynn had said about emojis, make it your own. So I was going to play with that too, but just in terms of what type of content should really be in there, that would be helpful. And I had done so far, I had updated the headline. So now I think my about, and then I'm just tweaking experience sections based on titles, like you said. Things like that. So working down the list of updating the profile. Thank you.
So that's a big one in terms of what should be in there. So what I think Lynn was saying in terms of the emojis was straight blocks of text, people stop reading.
Yeah.
So for anything, think short bullets, think sound bites. Okay. Don't think paragraphs.
Okay.
So break up the text. What you want in there is something that goes beyond. If you think about it, your experience section is what you do. The about section is who you are and what you bring.
Okay.
What you're looking for. Find some people doing the kinds of things you want to do. Look at their about sections. See if anything speaks to you. And the about section is another thing that you can play with. It's not static.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I've been playing with mine a lot recently to just try and figure out what I'm comfortable with. Okay.
Is that a section you've heard these algorithms are focused on versus the experience and titles? Is that irrelevant? Is it more just once a recruiter or hiring manager is checking you out, they just want to see a quick summary about you, basically?
So the algorithm sees it. The algorithm sees the keywords regardless of where they are.
Yeah, okay.
One of the things that people are telling us is that if you've got a skill that you really want to be found for, or a title you want to be found for, have it at least 2 to 3 places on your profile. The more places you have it, the more likely it is to be found.
Okay.
The About section is also where you can list several of the job types that you're looking for, the industries that you're interested in. You can add what I call your superpower, right? The thing that runs through everything you do that you're excited to bring to somebody else.
Awesome. Thank you.
But we're going to be doing another section or two on profiles and other things in LinkedIn as we go along. And we'll do some profile reviews.
Great.
Sue, did you have any suggestions?
I was just going to remind everybody that a lot of things get put into LinkedIn and never get opened up after the 2 or 3 lines and then the see more. But the words are there, and that's all searchable. When I download my full LinkedIn profile data, there's 52 or 53 CSV Excel files that show me different things. So all of that is searchable fodder for people wanting to find people, people wanting to connect with people, and also recruiters and hiring managers. So you're writing it mostly to make sure also that you can tell your story conversationally. That About section is, a way that kind of like your cover letter, you can weave together the things you want to highlight. It's like your personal headlines in a newspaper. So old-fashioned. It's like whatever. You're actually in writing your About section, and Linda, I'm right there with you. I know 2 weeks ago I said I have I have my things, fix my headshot and do my About section. Haven't done it yet, but I will. But think about it as a way that you practice articulating the value you bring, the evidence-based results that you can help people see. This is how I have successfully done this in the past. And that's a free-form thing. It's not like your resume and LinkedIn have to match your job titles. The About, you can make it your own.
Absolutely. And Sue's right. It's that first 3 to 4 sentences that have to be the hook to grab people in. Your About section is written in first person because it's really you. Okay. So it's not generic. You can add information that makes you. I think some people are suggesting you throw in a hobby or an interest if you want to. You could. But the idea is that's your personality, it's your background, it's what you're bringing. But those first 3 to 4 lines, it's all searchable. All searchable. But am I actually going to read it? Those 3 to 4 lines are the ones that are going to drag me in. And if I'm interested in actually having a conversation, I will probably read it. Okay. Play with it and let's take a look.
Yeah, good question.
Okay. Kim.
Yes, hi. I just wanted to bring up, I brought it up in the past, where I had a counselor have me send out about the superpowers. And I'm like, what are my superpowers? Like, I don't know what my superpowers were. So she suggested I send them out to friends and coworkers. So I got like 4 responses back. So I was shocked to hear what they had to say back because I never saw, as she tried to describe a superpower as something that you just do automatically and you do it well, and other people wish that they could do what you do so easily. So that's what I'll throw out to anybody that's new on the call is do that. Hey, what do you think my superpower is, as well as, investigate yourself.
Right.
What is it about that you do? So
I think that's perfect.
So that was really good because I'm seeing it from a different perspective. And I want people to be harsh about it too. Like, really, what is it that I do and what do I do well? So that's just a little nugget.
And think about it too from the standpoint of what did people always come for you for?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't have to be part of the actual job description or anything else, but you are their go-to person for X. That's your superpower. Great idea. Okay. I know that there were some other things in the chat that I've missed.
Linda, real quick, I've said it in the past. If you have access to your old reviews, your bosses tend to recognize things about you that you
Yep.
may be dismissive of, but they've obviously recognized that they're important enough to write down in a review of you. So those you can take and then use um, as your skills, as your superpowers. If you have more reviews, feed them into AI, look for trends. Um, that's a good tool to use.
Absolutely. Okay. And you should always, future, if you haven't done it now, when you get into that next forever job, you keep copies of those performance reviews. Okay. Because you're always looking. Yes, Sue.
Linda, I want to jump in because Kate Flanagan put a note in the chat. She was asking about her headshot looking stretched. I'm glad she asked because I did notice that. She's also asking about using AI to update our headshot. I would not do it at all because just a reminder, when we click on your profile and click on that round thing, we can see whatever you submitted. And there are companies that are looking for AI generated photos, AI modified photos. You don't want to be in that. Yes, there's ageism. You can do the best you can with filtering, with getting a photo retouched professionally, but I wouldn't put it through AI automatically. Right now, I don't trust that that's worth doing. And the ones I've seen look really plasticky. They make you look better. Yeah, I'd love to get rid of all these wrinkles and whatever. Sure, but it is what it is.
No, I agree. Do not use AI for your headshot. Do not submit, don't just copy and paste something that AI wrote and put it in your profile, your headline, your experience, or your resume. It has to be you. Okay, so please, please, please don't do that. And yes, we can not only, many of us visually can tell, but as Sue mentioned, there are filters that can be used by recruiters, by a variety of other people who can tell whether or not either your content or your headshot is AI generated. Please don't do it. It's not worth the risk. Besides, y'all are beautiful. Leave it that way. Okay, Barry.
Quick question. Ken mentioned A/B testing that he does, and I have no idea what that is.
Try one and see what your reaction is. Take it down, try something else, see what that reaction is. That's really all it is. In very simple terms.
Oh, you mean just look at it, and if that doesn't work, go to plan B or something like that?
Yeah,
Got it.
just
Okay.
see the differences.
I knew this was a silly question. Okay.
No, it's not
there
silly
are no
because
silly questions. They truly
and
are no
A/B
silly questions.
testing statistically that marketers, for example, use, they might give one group of people one image for an ad and another group another image, and they're doing it simultaneously. When he says A/B testing, I'm sure he means I'm putting this up for a while and then I'm changing this and seeing how the next time goes.
Right.
I don't know any other way to do it on LinkedIn. You can't have two different profiles. And you don't want to. You're having enough trouble. I have enough trouble managing one profile.
So the other thing that you can do if you really want to try some A/B testing, if you're reaching out with messaging to other people on LinkedIn, use one message for one group, one message for another, see which one seems to resonate better.
Okay. If you set up a page for like a company page, can you set up a separate profile for that on LinkedIn? Or are they going to restrict, are they going to limit it by my name?
Why would you have two profiles for Barry? You want a company page is fine. You can have 5 company pages.
I have a company page on LinkedIn right now, but I didn't know if that means because I get there's a lot of cross posting to it, which isn't necessarily what I was looking for.
Well, you
Because
get the chance to change some of that and see what you're doing on your company page.
well, it's for my tutoring business.
Yep.
So it's just I'm trying to reach out to people looking for students as opposed to the rest of my job search, which is more like, you understand? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but no, you do not want you do not want 2 separate Barry Lippitt profiles.
And you can't have it. They're locking that down more and more. That's why they want to do pushing everybody in the US and other places to verify, because they don't want multiple made up profiles.
Good.
I will say I've noticed much less spam, and I don't get Sheikh Hamdi from Saudi Arabia comment or messaging me every month or so.
Beautiful. That's my normal response from him, right?
I also want to mention, I don't know if you saw this yet. I saw a post from Brenda Miller from about 4 hours ago that talked about changes LinkedIn has now made to how you can list skills on your
I
site.
haven't seen that yet, but I'll
I
check it.
haven't seen
And
it
that
either.
if you don't, you can't add new skills to your about unless they're listed under your skills in your skills section.
Oh,
Well, that's
absolutely.
absolutely true.
Still at
Yeah.
100. So
Yeah.
you may want
That's
to check
absolutely
that
true.
out. Yeah.
Right. The other thing that I'm hearing coming down the pipe when we're talking about verification, if you haven't verified yet, please do. It's a really easy thing to do. Okay. It'll take you less than 5 minutes, but it then shows up with that badge on your profile. It means that as much as LinkedIn can tell, as the people behind the scenes can tell, you are a real person. But your comments, they're now going to be rolling out slowly, whether or not the comment comes from a verified person, is my understanding.
I also want to mention, for what it's worth, that adding the verification is difficult for people who have hands that shake and can't hold their phones steady. No, I'm serious. It took me so many tries before I was finally able to get a photo of a headshot of me that it would accept, and of my ID stuff. It took me several months before I could finally get to the point where I was able to do that. And I only persevered with it because of the recommendation you made
Good.
months ago.
I'm glad to hear that. So
Yeah.
with the photo, I understand that that's have somebody take a picture for you. Okay, sit there in the room with you if you need to,
Yeah,
or
well, this was just trying to take the picture of my driver's license so that I could
put it on the
verify.
table.
I did. It's the phone
Just do
that's
it
the
that way.
problem. It's the phone, not the license.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Barry, I'm sorry, Linda, if I could jump in, and this is for everybody on the call. One of the ways that you might be able to get around it, I have an Android phone, and I set something up on my Android phone where I physically don't have to touch anything. All I have to do is say capture. And when I say capture, it automatically takes the picture.
Wow.
Yes. I don't know if iPhones have that capability, but my Android, and it's a Samsung.
I'll have to check that.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know who was saying that because no
That's
other.
Roz. Roz
Oh, okay.
again.
I was trying to get you on the screen, Ross.
Thank
to
you.
say
Now
that.
I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Going back on mute. You're welcome.
Perfect. Any other questions? Okay. If we haven't answered them all. So the question was about LinkedIn stealing your ID if you verify your profile. It's the same as verifying your identity for other sites that you need to go to. It goes through a sort, and trust me, I'm paranoid about all of that as well. But all my cybersecurity folks and all the research that I've done and everything else, it captures it. It is there to verify it. It goes away. The verification stays. Your data goes away. They are not saving it. Okay. So in my mind, I understand it. They're not going to be stealing your ID. Recruiters are not going to be stealing your ID. They may be stealing your profile, but not your ID. So I'm comfortable doing it. And trust me, I'm paranoid about a lot of things. But if I'm comfortable doing it and recommending it to all of you, it's something worth doing. Any other things? Okay. I
have one.
Who's I?
David Pryor.
Hi, David. Nice to hear from you.
Is if you're applying for a job where you don't know the precise street address, is it okay for writing a cover letter without the address of the company?
So when you're writing a cover letter, for the most part, David, you're writing one that's going online. Okay. Are you sending hard copy cover letter?
No, this would be an electronic cover letter on a.
An electronic cover letter is an email. We don't include addresses on emails.
Well, I'm not talking about my address. I'm talking about the company's address.
I understand that. We don't do that either. So on an electronic email, you do not include your address or their address. Think about it simply as an email message, period.
Okay.
Okay. If you're sending it snail mail, you actually have to have that address. But otherwise, no, you don't. In fact, it looks funny. It looks outdated if you're trying to include a physical address on an email cover letter. Okay.
In support of that question, so what should it have as a header, Linda? You know, if you're attaching it, it's Juliet. If you're attaching a cover letter and a resume to a job that listing, right, that you're uploading, so it's not actually in an email, would you say dear name of person, dear hiring manager? Would you put today's date? Like, would you do any of the header that maybe David was referring to when he said, you know, the address?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to find you so that I can highlight you. Can you raise your digital hand for me?
Juliet.
Okay, if you're willing to come on screen.
Yeah.
Still looking. Anyway, while I'm trying to wave
Because
at
I've
me.
done that too, and so in the past, and so I don't want to be outdated either.
No, so if you're doing a cover letter, and yes, please, cover letter each and every time, okay, whether it asks for it or not. The cover letter really gives the information that goes above and beyond the resume. It's the why you want this, what you bring that nobody else does, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the cover letter itself, if you do not know the name of the person, just start. If you know the name, include the name, but not to whom it may concern, hiring team, recruiter. No, just start it.
But when you say just start it, like I feel like that's how I would write an email. But if I was saving it as a document that then I upload, it feels like it's missing something at the beginning.
But I'll tell you from the standpoint of the person reading it, it says either you didn't do your due diligence or this is a generic that you're sending to everybody. And I know that sounds strange when you don't have anything that you're highlighting there.
Right, like you're almost creating your own template, just like a resume template, but it's clearly customized, you know.
It is clearly customized. Okay. But by the same token, the idea is that if you're saying, dear hiring manager, dear whatever, from the standpoint of the person reading it,
yeah,
believe it or not, and I know it sounds strange, it feels worse to have that generic hiring team.
Total, right.
Okay.
I'm realizing now that the last ones I wrote were internal jobs that I was applying to. So I knew the person, right? I had already reached out to them in the internal network that said, you know, can we connect? And then a formal, you know, it was like they're the hiring manager. So dear Juliet or whatever.
So yes, if you know who it is, absolutely include the name.
Yeah.
Okay. But if not, just do it blank. Besides that, here's the other reason why. If you're doing the just generic hiring manager, hiring team, recruiter, remember your information is going into their database. If you've got the name, then I can reach out to that person and say, what do you have? If you don't, if you just say generic, it's because that's all I'm going to see to start with before I even read it. If I read it, it's like this person wants a job, any job.
Yeah.
So lead with the good stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we've gone overtime, guys. Which is one of the reasons that we decided to go to, the hour and a half, and we're now at an hour and 40. Thank you all for sticking with me. Several of us have put information in the chat about what's coming up next. Okay, over the next several weeks. We're also trying to finalize a date for Ken to come in and talk more about scams. Okay, and dealing with those as well. My hope is that he'll be doing that sometime the end of June, but we haven't gotten a date yet. Anyway, if you have ideas for other sessions, speakers, topics, please either DM me, email me, put it in the chat. Okay, with the word topic or whatever. As Ken mentioned at the very beginning, when you're doing this, please go ahead and copy the chat. Kim, you were talking about, or somebody was talking about getting involved in AI, right? And playing with it, and doing all those things with it. Here's a great use for AI. Put the chat into your favorite AI. Pull out LinkedIn URLs so that you've got a way of pulling out people who can want to connect with you if you haven't already. Pull it out your own nuggets, your ideas. That's what I'm going to do with the chat as well, so that I'm going to be able to use that as my trigger for what it is we want to see, okay, from what's going on. And there are two ways of copying the chat. One is to go up to the top of the chat box where it says Career Search Lunch and Learn. There are 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots, and it will say Save Chat. When you end the call, that chat will show up in your File Explorer, and you can figure out where to put it. It will be a text file. If you want to have it in a file that keeps some of those links active, go into the chat anywhere, click Select All, and you're going to have to go up to the top of the chat repeatedly to make sure that you're getting it all. Okay, it'll say new messages, new messages. So go up there so that you've got it all. Click anywhere then into the chat, say Select All, and then copy and then paste it into your own document. That's usually what I do. I'm going to have to do it only for part of the chat today because I got kicked out and didn't get a chance to save it. So if somebody has the full chat and wants to send it to me, okay, I have the text version of it, text box version, but those things that I missed when I was offline, are just gone for me. I'm not going to have them. So if somebody wants to send me the full chat, either as a text or as a Word or a Google Doc, I would appreciate it. But whatever it is, I will go ahead and pull that together, throw it into our private group either today or tomorrow.
Linda.
Hey, Scott here. I'll send it to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Linda, this is Roz. I don't see Select All. I'm up at the very top of the first person.
It's not going to be there. So you have to actually go into the chat box.
I'm in the chat.
Copy and paste it.
I want to copy and paste.
And so click into that chat box anywhere.
Okay.
And the first thing that should pop up should say Select All.
Okay. All right. You mean click? Wait a minute. Let me do this. I see something that says Accept All. You think that's it?
Are you on a Mac or a PC?
I'm on a Mac.
I don't know the answer.
Okay. Gotcha. That's probably what it is.
I'm PC based, I always have been.
No worries, no worries.
On a PC, you need to be using the Zoom Workplace app and not be on the Zoom website, because on the Workplace app, then the 3 dots are up there in the corner when you open the chat box.
Okay. The 3 dots should be there even, no matter what reason it is. Okay. The other thing you can do is the old-fashioned thing.
Yes, I'm gonna have to do it. The old-fashioned.
Okay. You can also just go to the very bottom or top of the chat, make sure you've got it all, and just slide your cursor up and down, right? And copy it and paste it yourself.
Yeah, let me try that.
But there should be a way on a Mac to save the chat.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask my uncle. My uncle is ChatGPT.
All righty.
That's the little nickname I gave it.
Okay. But I will tell you that the chat will go away when the meeting goes away.
Yes, yes. I'm aware.
Okay. Anything else I can answer for you guys today? Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you join our private group if you haven't already. Thank you for your questions and your support of each other. That's fantastic. Charles, thank you for chiming in with your advice as we go along. That really helps.
Yes, thank you, Charles.
Well, I am officially a contributor to the weekly Lunch and Learn calls.
You see, I know you are, and that helps. And by the way, when you do that, if you are doing that, make sure that what you do is you associate yourself as an employee with that group, okay? Because then you'll show up on that page as well. You don't have to. But when you send it out, let me know so that I can congratulate you both as the page and as me. Okay. And when you're doing it right, you're starting a new job. Sending out to your network also tells them that you're active and causes people to take another look. And you start those conversations. So that's a good thing. All right. Anything else? If not, the schedule is in the chat for the next 4 weeks. One of my tasks, probably for next week, is to try and figure out how to do a quick little graphic so that I can change it every week and you can still see 4 weeks at a time and I can post it in the private group. But that's something I have to figure out how to do. I'm always learning too and playing.
Hey, Linda, you're good with us sharing this group. I have somebody that works at Rochester Work who's very good with AI. He's a really good resource, and I think he needs to know about you and your group. So
Absolutely.
Just sharing.
Yeah, Kate, I let Dan know about the group. So, but definitely we can do it again.
Oh, good. All right. Good. Then I'm just repeating the praise.
See, I know who you're talking about.
Right. When you do, okay, share to sign up for these meetings. Do not share the link to the private group.
Yeah.
Okay. Several people have been sharing that, and I've been turning those people down. Okay, unless they actually register for the meetings. We want to make sure that as much as we know that we trust you and you trust them, they want to have a vested interest in what's going on. And I want to know that they're real.
Yeah, and there's some older folks that are needing to do more work in the AI LinkedIn space that I think would be very valuable, but they listen more to Dan than they do to me. So if he can convince them to come in too, that's good.
Perfect. Okay. And by the way, the ageism question is another one that we're going to be talking about. I just haven't got a date for it yet.
It's throwing me for a loop, but I could sit and avoid doing the things I need to be doing. I need to be really majorly focused on where I'm going next. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Just a quick question. Is there someone on the group that could help me adjust my Zoom settings for when I'm hosting a meeting? I'm not doing it right, and I need to be, because I'm unable to share my screen in my meetings. So I have a setting wrong and I don't know how to fix it. They can contact me off group. I don't want to take up time on here, and just sort of walk me through all the settings. I'd appreciate it.
Okay. And Pam can help you with that too, or
she's so busy. I just have to find, I know I can. I just have to find time for her. Okay.
Yes,
she has to find time for me, I should say. Other way
around. One of us can do that as well.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything else, Pat? For those of you who said that you share the chat with me, I truly appreciate it. I'm going to leave the meeting open for a couple of minutes so that you all can copy and download that chat if you like. Reach out anytime with questions, with ideas, ways that I can help you, because my goal is to support you throughout this journey. Thank you all. I'm going to keep the meeting open for about another 5 minutes so that you all can copy the chat, but otherwise, see you next time.